I didn't reach back and invent a new backstop that a Parker like a Cadillac. I didn't do that. Flashback.
Karu Nat says, I heard a nut job say that domestic violence means he cares.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean,
that's an interesting.
oh
man, that's gosh.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting because that's what it's perceived as, I think, by the female, probably.
By the broken female.
But realistically, to perform a violent act on a person, you don't perform violent acts on people you care about. So that's a conundrum right there. Because to harm someone physically is like going overboard. I think even to say certain hurtful words is overboard. To do things in terms of disciplinary actions is much more different. Gosh, my mom whooped me when I was a kid. This is getting difficult. Dang, mama, do you love me? No, go ahead, man.
Give you some pimping.
Yeah, what's the pimping on that? Gorilla pimp.
Let me take you back 100 years in pimping. You know, there's a maxim in the industry where they would say white girls let you pimp on them and black girls make you pimp on them. And what they're saying is that the African-American female displays such unruly behavior that you have to take a stiff pimp hand to her to keep her in line. And that's not a result of her being African-American on like a genetic basis, but it's more so a result of the circumstances that she came out of, being in poverty, experiencing trauma, having weak emotional fathers and single mothers who abused them. So when they were raised up, their actual understanding of love was abuse. Because the only persons that actually abused them were the ones who loved them. Their teacher didn't beat them and lay hands on them. It was their mom that grabbed that extension cord. It was their dad every now and then. It was their grandma that laid hands on them, physically hurt them. So when you get this broken African-American woman with a P, who's her father figure, now she needs to understand that he loves her and she has to make him display that through the pimp hand. So that's why they say the African-American girl makes you pimp on her, whereas the white girl lets you pimp on her, because in many cases they're not coming from the same level of extremes, broken environment, and trauma. That being the case, the saying is correct in that there are many broken women of many backgrounds who believe that domestic violence is expressive of love. But the truth is, one, I don't condone gorilla pimping. I don't think that's the best form of pimping. It's not good to damage the product. Nobody wants to buy a dented canned good. You heard me? You want the pristine one with the shine on it.
That's facts.
Right? So don't damage the goods pimping. And a female who wants you to lay hands on her, put a grooming hand on her, I advise you to stay away from her because she won't change and she will be trouble. I have encountered one of them. I didn't reach back and invent a new backstop that a Parker like a Cadillac. I didn't do that to her. But what I actually did do when she tried to get me to give her one, I just hugged her real tight and I told her, I'm not going to hit you.
I know that pissed her off.
She started crying. At that point. And I told her, I know you've been hit before. And that was the first time she had spilled her guts and told me that she used to get her ass kicked by her ex-husband. I never knew that before. And that's why it pays to Dr. Phil them chicks. Yeah, it's too much game right there. Tell Clue to drop a bomb for that.
It just became the Oprah show.
Super chat from Karu Knots.
Preach.
Love language is pain.
And the same is quoting one of those exclusive videos where I go through the love languages and I talk about the love language that the psychologist forgot to identify, which is pain. That's deep game.
Woo. Taking stuff out the Patreon.
Going to the metaverse. What are your thoughts on Eastern European women for wife stock? Well, number one, they fine as hell. If you're looking for a fine ass woman who know how to dress and likes to step out like she walking down the catwalk, that's the place to go, especially if we talk in Ukraine. If you get them outside of the major cities, Moscow, Odessa, you get them outside of those major cities, they're more likely to have some values. One thing I like about Eastern European women, they're more straightforward.
They are.
If they don't like you, they'll tell you. They're not going to play games with you.
They make up every lie.
Indeed. But I will say that Ukrainian women and Russian women are very much so leading the World Olympics and the gold digger races. Further, what has your experience been with them? I've had some significant experience with Ukrainian women, and one of them I'm thinking of in particular right now, stupid thick. stupid thick. Mark, by the way, I slayed this chick at David's spot. Shout out to the homie David who let me, borrow the spot to slay this Ukrainian. And she was thick. Oh my God, I'm having flashbacks right now. A flashback. But she was a super gold digger, very intelligent girl, but did not want to pay for anything. She just wanted to have a real fancy life and enjoy like living a magazine lifestyle. And that's very common among those Ukrainian women and among some of the Russian women that are coming out of Moscow, places like that.
That is so true. Because when I think about Eastern European women, I know a lot of them that are like 30 years old or older, still single. Somehow bills are being paid, magically being paid.
Magically.
Ooh, like how's that happening? Like this is crazy.
Ain't it?
Yeah, and it's tough. They're so charming.
Yeah,
they're very charming.
They're
very deceitful. If you can't see past it, I think any guy who has no game and is struggling with talking to women, he would definitely get fooled. But a true P definitely wouldn't. They would see right past that. This is a tough one, man.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
I recommend smashing, absolutely, but don't forget the part about dashing. Don't forget that part.
I'm assuming when he says wife, he's talking about marriage. And
no,
I'm going to be the first one to say I don't recommend marriage at all. I don't know why you would sign over everything you have to a person. Like, I don't even get the benefit. Like, I'll be trying to warn dudes, man.
I wouldn't do it.
Clarification here. This girl is Chinese.
Bro, let me tell you about them Chinese. Now, I've been to China several times, been through many cities in China. One thing I like about Chinese people in general is that they're hustlers. Even the women, serious hustlers, good business people, very money conscious. They're thrifty, and I like that, but very money conscious, which is to say that it doesn't matter if she's Filipina, Chinese, Moroccan, fill in the blank, Ukrainian. When you're dealing with a woman who comes from a retrograde economy, I'm not saying China's an underdeveloped economy. It's not. But what you have in China are radical differences in access to wealth, power, influence, basic living standards. And in fact, I just recently had a Chinese masseuse, and she was, kind of flirting with me afterward. And she was like, where are you from? And I was like, LA. She said, well, where are you from before that? And I was like, LA. She said, well, where are your parents from? I was like, LA. Where are your parents from? And she was like, oh, well, I'm from China. I was like, okay, that's what's up. I said, well, what do you like better? You like here better or China better? Because when I was in China, I was like, China's the greatest place in the world. Now, mine just because I was being hosted by the government. So they rolled out the red carpet. You feel me? It was a good time. Because they're being rich to enjoy yourself in China, like being government connected is like better than being rich in America. You know what I'm saying? Because like you can do whatever you want. Like it's just so much. It's like the Chinese Communist Party is strong.
Yeah.
That being said, she told me, and I definitely believe this. She said, I like America way better than China. There's more money here. And the Chinese government, their economy is stronger than the American economy currently. What she means is there's more access to money for common citizens. So if you're a common citizen in America, you're doing okay. And you can advance in the society without having connections to the Chinese Communist Party or the government. Whereas in China, you have to have connections to move up and to live well. So she would much rather be here. That being the case, do you not think that this girl is trying to make a come up on some American citizenship? Because let me remind you that America is the place they call the land of opportunity. America is the place everybody's trying to get to. And I'm not saying she don't love you. She might love you. But I'm also saying she damn sure love that opportunity that you're providing. So, bruh, if your gut is making you ask me this question, go with your gut. Talk to us.
All right. Cornelius Jackson says, can y'all please stop asking to find women overseas? Even women overseas are looking for suckers.
Oh, absolutely they are. See,
Hey,
people,
lied.
that's the sad nature of people trying to find a deal. And when you never, there's no such thing as a deal.
Everybody want to get rich quick scheme.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a deal. You're always going to pay full price. And what I try to teach the saints is to be willing to pay full price. I was watching the comments on a live I did, and Bridget had pointed out to me, she was like, hey, when you said that you could do 30 pull-ups, people were writing cap in the comments. I was like, see, that's funny, because they don't realize that half the time when I'm doing my live, Bridget is there. I'm not about to sit here and make up a lie in front of someone who sees me day in, day out and knows what I can and cannot do. Or shall I say better yet, what I have and have not done. So I would look like a piece of trash to sit here and say I'm a multimillionaire with Bridget sitting there and she'd be like, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
Or to say I could do 30 pull-ups and Bridget's they're like, no, I saw you on the pull-up bar. Like you can't do that. You know, like I'm not gonna sit here and lie in front of people who know me. And that's the problem today is that people are looking for the easy way. And I'm telling you, there's only one way. It's the hard way.
Yeah.
You don't make $1 million quickly.
You don't make anything quickly.
Right? You don't make $1 million quickly and you don't figure out how to do 30 pull-ups easily. It takes pain and suffering. But here's the thing. Apparently, you're so extraordinary when you can do it that people think you're lying. That's a privileged position. And I had to tell Bridget, like, these fools is projecting their weakness onto me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, they said that was cap. If they think that's extraordinary, they'd be shocked at what I can really do.
Thanks.
But the sad thing is I'm wondering what kind of physical state they're in when they can't do 30 pull-ups. So it's fine to not be able to do 30 pull-ups, but here's the thing. When you think somebody else
can't do it.
You know what I'm saying? That's when you're really in bad shape.
Bro, that's like saying you can't, like, I'm pretty sure when Jordan said I can do a dunk from the 3-point line.
Right.
No, you can't.
Right.
Then he did it.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, how do you feel now? How do you feel now? Because it was impossible for you.
For you.
So you speak for yourself. You on point.
And the real Saints, they seen videos when I was in
some people just don't play the game hard enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Guatape in Colombia. I was in Guatape in Colombia. I was doing pull-ups while giving a lecture.
Oh, on a video, right?
Yeah, I was doing pull-ups while giving a whole lecture. So it's like, if y'all had any brain cells, you'd be like, if this man can do pull-ups, maintain his train of thought, and have a full lecture without losing breath, he ain't nothing to play with.
I remember seeing you hitting a punching bag, and you was hitting the punching bag, and you was doing rounds on it. And I was like, does he understand how many rounds he just did? Because, like, I don't know if y'all ever hit a punching bag, but I'm like, bro, go a couple rounds on a punching bag. It's wearing you out. It's wearing you out. And my man's probably did like 10 of them, didn't even realize. I don't even know if he realized what he did as he was talking.
Yeah.
That stuff was crazy.
Yeah, and that's another reason not to be around average people, because they see their low-ass way of living and they try to drag you down to it.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? It's dirty. They just try to hold you to where they're at. And that's why I tell you, I don't want to be around ugly people and I don't want to be around broke people. And I say that proudly. And you might say, well, Marquett, why are you always talking about that? And why are you always talking about Rolls Royce? And why are you always talking about the Cullinan? And why?
Because it weeds them
money?
Motherfuckers out.
Yeah, right. And that's why I want to keep my mind focused.
Like the girl on the podcast, like last time when I was like, I have a tremendous amount of money, and she said, just brag a little bit more. I'm not sending no shot to that girl, but like that's that mentality right there. Like she's like, they try to make you feel bad for being extraordinary,
for winning.
And it's like, well, what I come here on this planet for? Because what you here for? Like, it makes no sense.
Losers hate a winner.
Yeah.
Losers hate a winner. Let the top down in the winter. Put them heated seats on so your bitch remember. Whew.